So, who's ready to post some angry comments at me? You? 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 Cabin in the Woods. 5 college students go to a remote cabin in the woods in a horror story that you've seen 1,000 times before. Or have you? While the 5 teens have their stereotype horror adventure, 2 office workers work to pull the strings to make sure each of them die. Now I'm going to preface this review by saying that I am fully aware I am in the minority in liking this movie, and I can understand why most of you like it. The acting is solid across the board, most of the jokes are funny, and the premise is pretty interesting. So I guess you could say that for me the movie is more disappointing than it is outright bad. Joss Whedon is one of the best writers in Hollywood right now, shown by the fact that he gave us the greatest comic book film of all time this year. Maybe that gave me expectations that were too high, or maybe I've just seen too many movies that play off horror tropes. Honestly, for the longest time I wasn't sure why I felt so unsatisfied by this movie, so consider this review the best explanation I could think of that feels true to me, while also trying to get at what makes this movie affect me differently than so many others. Cabin in the Woods could best be described as a mystery trying to disguise itself as horror. There are horror elements, but they're frequently undercut by humor, which means they lack any kind of real punch. This isn't inherently a problem as it makes us focus on the mystery element of the story, but this is where you start to separate me from the average bear. I'm not saying I'm smarter than anybody else, but well, here, let me show you. This is the complete works of Sherlock Holmes by Sir Arthur Conan Doyle. It's one of my favorite books in my collection, and I've read each story in it multiple times. So when you compare the mystery of Cabin in the Woods to Sherlock fracking Holmes, the mystery is kind of pathetic. Joss Whedon is one of the greatest writers of dialogue in Hollywood, second only to Tarantino in my opinion, so when characters start speaking in intentionally vague dialogue, it looks really clunky by comparison. In fact, I'm of the opinion that if you're really paying attention to this movie, you can have the mystery solved in about 30 minutes. I know, because I did. So Cabin in the Woods is 1 part comedy, 1 part horror, and 1 part mystery. Now I understand that I'm in the minority of thinking this, and I'm kind of a special case in this scenario, but that doesn't mean I think any of you are stupid or wrong for liking this movie. Matter of fact, I had to spend several days trying to figure out why I left this movie so unsatisfied, so consider this review just my attempt at putting my confused feelings into words. Maybe I'm crazy, maybe I'm an asshole. All I know is that I left this movie feeling really unsatisfied. Maybe you will too, maybe you won't. I honestly can't tell you. Hopefully my next review will be a little more internet friendly. Speaking of which... here we go.